All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TimingResearch.com crowd forecast news for August 18th, 2025. We are recording this at the new 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is episode number 490. Um, my name is David Cosmeter. I'm the creator of TimingResearch.com, and you should be able to see my screen right now, my charts, but we'll switch off to see other charts too during the episode. So today I've arranged for Michael Filighera and Sunny Harris to be our expert panel today. And the option professor is back to moderate. But before we get started, unfortunately, Sunny Harris has lost a longtime friend and collaborator.
Oh,
And so I'm going to let her say a little bit about her friend Sam.
Thank you. Sam Tennis was a programmer extraordinaire. He was my programmer and my writing partner. The 1,300-page book that we wrote, published in 2023, was co-authored. And he died of sepsis. He was diagnosed with cancer 8 months ago, but finally succumbed to sepsis of the gallbladder. He was more than brilliant to me. He was my best friend. We met together on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for 3 hours each while writing the book, which became a 2-volume opus. We shared writing, we shared jokes, we programmed together, we shared life stories, and we shared love. Sam lived in South Florida. I'm in Southern California, so our meetings were all by Zoom. We shared a love of programming, a love of TradeStation, and love of family. I've known Sam for more than 39 years, and though I hadn't seen him in person since 1998. In November, we both went to TradeStation's Crossroads Summit, which was a magnificent gathering. It was so great to spend time with Sam, and especially now that he's gone, I'm really appreciative. And we didn't know Sam was sick yet at that time. Sam will be missed by many, not only for his kindness and generosity, but for his brilliant mind. I could give him a description of what I wanted, and he grasped it instantly and had it programmed before we were off the phone call. And he was not just a great programmer, he was a great diagnostician. I called Murray Ruggiero, who's also gone, one night at midnight to give me help with some code I couldn't get to compile. And unbeknownst to me, Murray called Sam and asked for his help with the problem. In about 30 minutes, Murray called me back and said, "What's wrong with your eyes? Can't you tell an I from a lowercase l? No, a one. Sorry. Can't you tell a one from a lowercase l?" And Sam had figured it out. Sam will be missed by lots and lots of programmers in easy language as well as TradeStation in general. The world has lost a great man. We're going to have a memorial for Sam on September the 12th online. If you're interested, send me an email to sunny@moneymentor.com and I'll send you the details.
Okay. Thank you, Sunny. We're
Thank
sorry
you.
for your loss. And he was also your podcast co-host
Yes, yes, he
for
was.
since you started that too. Yeah.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, we're sorry for your loss.
Thank you. He will
But
be sorely.
all right. Well, let's on that let's get into
Let's get into
more
trade.
more fun topics. So,
Yeah, that's great.
I'll go ahead and turn it over to Jim, the option professor, so we can get the show started.
okay. And Sonny, again, sorry for hearing of your loss. He's a great guy, apparently, and
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you.
you're going to miss him, that's for sure.
Uh,
Okay, let's get into what's going on in the world because I'm looking at the ever melting VIX number. I think we're back under 14 again, under 15 again today. But give us a look at the. That's right at 15. Give us a look at the S&P chart, and let's get an idea of where Sunny and Sunny bands are telling us where we might be going.
well,
So,
let me
You want to
share.
share? Yeah. All right. You
I
should
can
be
do
able
that.
to now.
Thank you. You see it? Yeah.
It's loading. Okay.
This
Yeah.
is
See it now.
this is a daily chart of the S&P. I'm going to take that trend line out of there. It's no longer necessary. But we are pushing up against the top. We're right up against new all-time highs, both on this and the Dow. And without the sunny bands, I know that when price hits the upper sunny band or a new all-time high, it tends to go up some more. But with sunny bands, I can see that we're almost in a sell signal. So we've got a red bar, red candle right here that came down below the upper outer band. All I need is one more to come down just a little bit lower, and we've got a sell signal.
What kind of a price you looking at for that to happen?
Well,
This is on the E-mini September, correct?
it's on the continuous contract.
Okay.
So it'll go down. It's at 64.56 right now. All it needs to do is drop to 54.65 and a half or something. Not much.
Yeah.
It just drops down a little bit and gives me a red candle, then that'll be a sell signal. So I don't know which way it's going right now.
Well, basically, it looks like if you take out these lows today and go to 64.50 or less, it would be turning pretty negative.
Oh, that would definitely be negative.
Yeah. Because on my screen, I got 64.73. So, where are you quoting it currently, son?
Oh, let's look at the ESU 20.
Yeah. Then we can put it into terms that maybe somebody.
Yeah, well, so on the futures contract, we're at 64.69 right now. All I need is 64.68 and it'll be satisfied.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're right on it. Yeah. Well, I can see that if we broke under 63.60, 64.60, 64.70, definitely on the 30-minute graphs, it would start looking kind of negative.
Mhm.
And if we do go down, what levels do you think will catch the falling knife?
Probably the DMA will catch the falling knife. That's the gold and purple line in the center right here.
And where we come in there?
We're coming in at 63.67.
Okay. So we're going to get a pretty good ride on the downside then.
We get a little bit of a ride. It'll probably stop at the DMA and go back up.
Yeah. And you said 63, 67, something like that?
Correct.
Yeah, I got some stuff going on at 63.55. So that is a neighborhood where
Yeah.
well, it's actually the neighborhood where the last reversion stopped at 6,200. So
Yeah.
is it, the last time we went down, did that area, did
It
you have any
didn't hold.
support?
It didn't hold last time. See, it went on down to the lower outer band.
Yeah, but where was the lower outer rim? Around 6,200, right?
61.89. Yep.
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah, there's some concert here between the numbers, which is good. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we think here. We think it's trying to break out to the upside, but if it starts failing here, a more sustained drop could occur.
There you go.
And
You've got a good way of saying that.
yeah, and then of course that VIX, which is very low, obviously has plenty of room to go up if it starts to drop. But it's been having a heck of a time, sustaining any type of an increase. It went to 22 on August 1st. S&P went to 6,200, and it turned out those were two fantastic places to buy and catch this last rally.
Now it's a 15.3 something.
Yeah. Anything under 1820 generally is where it's complacent, and complacent is exactly what big money likes to see because they don't want to family home offices and institutions don't want to see their money looking anything like it did in April. That's why they all dumped in April and have to come back in.
Yep.
So, Michael, how are you seeing things as far as the Elliott waves or the Fibonacci's or anything that could be helpful to determine what's going on? Do you want to share the chart, see what you think?
I can.
Yeah.
Where am I? Where's my chart? I don't see
get into uncharted territories, that projection thing that you do can come in handy. So when you were projecting at the lower levels, are any of these projections being hit recently, which would tell us that it's possibly reaching a culmination short term?
Yes and no. And let me see if I can't get this back up.
Yeah, because all we have is your portrait up there, which is a very nice portrait.
Yes, I see that.
Tells us very little about what the S&P is doing, but it's a good portrait.
Let me see if I can go to this one. That's screen 2, and that's not going to tell me what I want to see. I think
let's just look at your picture. He's a handsome man.
Exactly.
I know.
And we'll wonder what the market looks like.
See, but if I gotta take this out of the way, there. Now tell me my screen share stopped. Give me 1 minute here.
No problem.
There, got it. Now I have it. All right. So
That's
there you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
We're good. We're good.
Okay, this is the cash. I can do both, but in the cash, what I how I've been looking at this, as you're going to see that I marked here the slight new high that we made last week, and that I think completed. Let me take this out of the 15-minute and go back over to the hourly. See, I think we've been in, this is a minute three, and this is all a part of a minute wave four. And because there's been a lot of upward momentum, um, we kind of came down in an A wave, and that took us to the August 1st.
Right.
So the last time we popped in volatility. And then you were right. It was, and it did turn into just an opportunity to
Yeah.
go ahead and start loading up again. And the target that I had during this period was 6,500.
Okay.
And I just think that's temporary. So hear me
Yeah.
out here. I think what we're doing is that we're still within this fourth wave correction. And here's the target. Now I have an initial target at 62.64, which fits in exactly what Sonny was talking about and what you were talking about, Jim.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
I think we got one more down. Now, adding to that, because you're bringing in volatility, which of course is very important to how things move. And I agree with you that the complacency factor is pretty high. And so, but what I have and what I follow, there's a level, and it's 64.65 today. It's 64.65 in the ES, and it's 64.45 here in the SPX.
Hmm.
And what that represents, and we're sitting just above it, right? So we closed just above it today. If we break below it, it's considered that it's breaking the volatility trigger. And what that trigger is basically suggesting, if it gets broken and we start to see some pressure to the downside, is that what's happening is the market is going to move from risk on trading back over to risk off trading.
Hmm.
And
Excuse
if that
me
happens, we're
for
going to
my
get a spike.
ignorance. What is risk on, risk off mean?
Risk on trading is where large firms, trading firms, traders are selling the VIX, which is a cash market. So they're then taking that cash and they're putting it into the volatility of the underlying or the component companies of the SPX or of the NASDAQ or of any of the ETFs.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Yeah, they're long, Sonny, they're long stock and they're shorting volatility, which has
Yeah.
been an absolute perfect place to be since May because
right.
I had volatility turning over in May at 25. It's been downtrending ever since. Yes, it had that one weird bump in August 1st, but how long that lasts? You couldn't even finish your coffee and we're right back in their face again.
Yeah.
So the,
And
the bottom line is that yeah, but I can definitely see if we get above 17 or 18 on the VIX, that trade is probably going to come in with a vengeance, possibly.
I agree. I agree. Now, just to kind of to add on to that, um, what also the risk off trade or just this risk on trade, where they're really going, and this is your neck of the woods, Jim. They're going to the options.
Oh, no doubt.
And so that's where they're going. And if we realize, so they're buying the volatility of the underlying. If
Hmm.
you're an options trader, volatility equals premium. So what happens is when the demand for the calls or the puts starts to really get pumped up, then the volatility of that class or that option goes up.
Hmm.
So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because when we're talking about that volatility is going down and they're taking that cash and putting it back in volatility, it's a different way. They're buying premium, which is equates to volatility when you're looking at an options chart and you're looking at what's the volatility of that strike or of that expiration. And so when the demand becomes so great, up goes the volatility and down goes the VIX. So it's kind of a confusing statement, but at the same time, what it then does is the dealer, because what is the life of a market maker? To sell the premium.
Hmm.
So they're going to sell the premium and then they have to buy the underlying.
Yeah, they got a hedge. Yeah.
Got it.
And so then we get the exact scenario that you just described. It's like it's the perfect scenario. The market will go up. But what my thing is, it's like as we've been marching higher, the volatility trigger has kind of inched its way up. And so when we look at it at 40, 64, 65 in the ES, that's actually been coming into play.
Yeah.
Sitting at
Thank you,
68,
Michael.
we got below it today, but they keep taking it back. And another great example of this, the volatility and the Qs, right? The Qs are actually the one that I would use if I'm looking at how things are going to move in the NDX and the NQ, because the options in the Qs trade way more than the other two indexes. So, but they battled today at the in the Qs, the volatility trigger was 576. And it kept breaking down below and they kept retaking it. It broke down below, they kept retaking it. So they're not ready. There's something out there that some who's ever trading it is like, no, we're not going there today. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
No, but you know what they're waiting for? I'll give you a little tip. They're waiting to see how the Nvidia earnings happen at the end of the month. And then after Labor Day, you've got the Broadcom earnings. And I don't think anybody wants to get too short in front of the Nvidia news. And
Right.
also, Tesla is supposed to have some announcement about some robotic thing coming out.
Well, they got
And
the
if,
robotic taxis that they're going to be putting on the streets of San Francisco.
but isn't there another one? I've been reading something else. Anyway, I
Waymo,
suppose
Waymo, which is owned by Google.
no, I'm talking about another robot besides the taxis. Anyway, maybe
Oh,
it was
oh,
bad
you
information.
could be right. You could be
Yeah, it's
right
supposed
on
to
that.
happen tomorrow, and I've noticed that one of the reasons people buy options is because obviously they're cheaper than buying the stock.
Right.
An example is if you thought Tesla might spike up in the next 2 weeks, to buy 100 shares of stock costs like $35,000, and to buy the call at 350 costs $500. And it's a little bit easier to come up with 500 than 35 grand. So that's another reason why these options are so popular is that, they're limited risk and the premiums are affordable to people. But of course, they're extremely risky ways of going. But, you know,
Right.
it's
Right.
also risky when you buy a Tesla at 500 and it goes down to 300, and you try to wait 3 years to see if it goes back up. You know what I mean? So
Right. I
they
mean,
all they all have,
if you buy a call, all you can lose is the price of the call.
yeah,
Price of
yeah, and a
call.
lot of people like that.
Yeah, you're
My
right.
problem with options is I lose that $500 every time.
Yeah, well, you got to get a new watch. You got to get your timing's
Yeah,
off.
Yeah,
right, really. That
that's
makes sense.
funny.
But in any case, I just think it's like we're in a position here where I think the market does drop. Now, again, I don't think that 6,200 down to 6,155 is all that much. It's
No,
going to feel
no,
like it, but it's still above 6,000. And the one thing that I have noticed, and it has not changed, is 6,000 in the SPX. So right now it's 6020 here in the ES simply because it's a September contract and it'll expire. So it loses some value via the interest every day. So 6420 excuse me, 6020 and 6,000 in the SPX. That is solid, sturdy ground of support.
yeah, but
I
I'm
don't think
thinking
it's
time
gonna go
wise.
that low.
When don't you think that's more of an October, November time frame deal
Yeah,
than it is right away? Because
Oh,
yeah.
to come down to 62?
to have any kind of a correction like we're speaking about, where it busts down and the VIX goes to 25 and stuff like that, I think.
Oh, I think, no, I think that we do have it in September. We've got a couple of windows. It's like I use artificial intelligence now. I use AI to kind of just plot or map some of these expectations.
Right.
And right now, because volatility has been so low and the market is kind of flipping all over the place and vol is not budging. Now we got a little bit of an up move this morning simply because of last week's expiration. And again, so we haven't the VIX continues, the VX continues to, they expire options, et cetera. So, but now we're in the September contract full bore. But I think that we can spike between 18 and 20, and we might get that into the beginning of September or within this week.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe they'll try to get them out this week, and then it'll go through the roof next week going into NVIDIA's
but
earnings.
I think that all of this, as it's going to happen, are going to be spikes.
Yeah.
We're just going to spike down. Boom, it's done.
Well, the other thing that could be spooky this week is there's a ton of retail coming out on earnings. So if you hear
Yeah.
Ross Stores isn't doing well, although I can attest to you, I went in to get something at Ross Stores and I picked the wrong day because it was the same day they were going back to school, and
Oh,
there
no.
must have been 100 people in line. So
Right,
I don't know how Ross was doing most of the time, but that day they were crushing it.
right.
So the bottom line is yeah, we get the Ross and we get the Abercrombie and Fitches, and we got all kinds of those kind of guys coming out. And if their numbers are good, that's going to be very positive. If they're very bad, then of course that could instigate a little bit of a sell-off.
It could. And the other side of this coin, in my opinion, is we're just finishing a minute fourth wave.
Mm-hmm.
So as it comes down and finishes that wave, what's coming next is a minute fifth wave back up. And if I take this out to my daily, I just want to show you the third wave,
And isn't fifth a very powerful one?
only in
Third
precious
is.
metals. In
Only,
precious metals. It can be, but in this case, it was the third. Here is the bottom of wave two, and there's the top of wave three. So that's what we're correcting. So to come down this far is not all that far.
Yeah,
no,
no,
if
that's
it's
right.
a three is supposed to be really big too, isn't it?
It is. The third is the most powerful
Yeah.
within, like in most markets. In the precious metals, it normally then turns to the fifth. The fifth, for whatever reason, blasts to the moon.
But what
Uh,
about the stocks here? Now, could it possibly hold water through the end of next week when Nvidia comes out? Because I was thinking it might be a buy the rumor, sell the fact deal, where
it could,
we've been
that could very well
bidding up,
be.
because
And
earnings and earnings and earnings, and then it culminates with this thing, and then we're at like 65.50 or something, and
right.
then all of a sudden, then we get the big drop,
I mean, I don't think, I think you've got a
a
very,
pullback.
very good point because every single Mag 7 that's reported on the earnings themselves, they were not bad. Most of them beat expectations, but the market sold off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think that that's a very realistic thing for NVIDIA to do once they report. They'll probably beat estimates and we'll do a pop, and then suddenly they'll say something about, well, we are having to pay certain, tariffs, we are having to pay this and that, and kablooey, it'll come back down. But like Apple, they may have some other product or advancement or some new
To
chip or
announce.
whatever they're
Yeah.
going to do, and they come out later and talk about that.
The key
Mhm.
also is margins. Their margins used to be 80%, then they went down to like
Right,
75%. And
right,
so if their margins go into the 60s, that's going to freaking people out too, I think.
right, right. So I think that, yes, I do think that that could be the catalyst that could bring all this down. And because I am looking still, and if we get through September, September could actually end up being a down month. Um, but again, I'm looking for it to go quick because I think that the upside pressure remains. The market, I don't know why, but they want to see 6,500 to 6,600,
Yeah.
the SPX,
Yeah.
with a blow off likely by year end, with the possibility of 7,000 to 7,200.
Yeah.
And
You
these
don't
are
think
these
we're
are
going
not
to wait till the
unrealistic
October
numbers.
blow off?
I'm sorry, say what?
You don't think they're going to wait till October to do the blow off?
Oh, I think they could wait all the way to December.
I
I
like
think they could
October.
start it. I think they could start it
One of
in
the instigators
October.
could be Q3 earnings. If Q3 earnings come in disappointing, which would be announced in October and November, that could be the catalyst for the drop then. And why would they be a little weaker? Because during this Q2, after April, right?
Yeah,
Maybe people have been a little bit more hesitant to go out and spend. There seems to be a freezing on hiring anybody. I'm sure there was a freezing on spending money in some respects. And
right.
so that could show up into the earnings as well. So we'll have
Yeah,
to see. But the bottom line is, as you're saying, there could be a drop out of here, and Sonny's saying there could be a drop if we start decelerating a little bit. But
right.
the evidence we're staring at isn't exactly showing that now.
No, but I think that's the surprise.
Yeah,
I mean, we have to consider what we saw on Friday.
yeah,
And honestly, in my opinion, Friday was options expiration. period, end of story.
Hmm.
That's what caused the downslide. That's what caused a lot of these stocks just to kind of hit the skids.
Hmm.
It was the expiration. And so what's the recovery today? Post expiration.
Hmm.
It's like that makes sense to me. It's like, yeah, go back and buy it all back.
Also, this coming back from vacations in August also is a factor in September. Do they come back with their buy tickets ready, or do they come back with let's get a little scaly back until we see what the Fed actually does? Because that Fed
Oh,
decision, everyone is acting like it's 110%. I mean, I saw producer
I
prices
know.
up 10% annualized, and I see unemployment at 4.2. Okay, they're not hiring a lot more people, but why would you? If you have 4% unemployment, you probably don't need anybody else.
Right.
You know,
And
and the wages are growing way faster than inflation, and the retail sales numbers in services are starting to accelerate. So I don't know. I mean, you have so much ammo when you're the Fed, blowing it when there's nothing to be. I mean, the only thing they can say is concerning is we're not hiring a lot more people. But again, we're at full employment, guys, and the immigration people have all left the building. So, those type of jobs probably aren't being filled or whatever
oh,
because,
I heard they're giving a $50,000 signing bonus.
Right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
was that was
Fifty
in the news
thousand dollars
today.
plus you
yeah.
have to you have to serve for something like 5 years to get that 50 grand, but still, there's a lot
Don't
of
line
people
up.
who
Don't line
need
up at the
money right
door.
now.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
I was going to ask you guys to look at something here, which I think is kind of important. And it's on MicroStrategy
What's the
and
symbol?
MSTR. So
Okay.
I'm going to have both of you guys look at because you have different charts than Michael. So Michael, look at yours first, and we're going to flip it over because this is kind of big news to me. They had said that they were not going to issue any new stock, and
hmm.
as long as it stayed, I guess, at 2.5 times the value of their Bitcoin holdings. The stock has got a value in the marketplace, and then there's a value of the Bitcoin they own. And sometimes this stock has traded 256% above what they actually own in Bitcoin. So a guy like Jim Chanos, who's a shorter, he has been going and shorting MSTR and buying Bitcoin, thinking that that premium is going to go away over time. And really, it's kind of I mean, MSTR is having a little bit of difficulty getting out of its own way lately. And I
Yeah.
think if it broke 350, that it could really accelerate to the downside. So, is that a 1 year chart or what year chart is that?
This is a 5-year weekly. If I go to
Okay.
the daily, here's a 1-year chart.
Yeah. So there's the one I was kind of looking at. And I think also the 5 year very much needs it to stay above around 350 too. What does your
Oh,
weekly say?
my 5-year weekly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
Well, I mean, if it breaks under that area up there where your blue and green, blue and yellow are pretty together there. Where are they at? I can't see actually.
well, as at 370, the 20, this is the 20 period moving average is at 373,
And the other guy?
is at 382.
Yeah.
It's the 50. If it breaks the 50, which is at 321, which gives it just that little bit extra, a shove.
Yeah.
But I see that's 338, actually 343. So that's closer. I see where you're kind of coming in on the 350, but this is the deal. Look at that. The earnings, they made up for losing money all these years, right? Or
Mhm.
all that period of time. And so they made 32.52 and the market can't hold up. That's kind of, then I have to
Well, I
agree.
think to be honest, if that premium goes away, this stock is in big trouble. And
There you
so the
go.
bottom line is Chanos, he's not always right, but he's certainly not always wrong. And there does seem to be a shrinking of the premium that people are willing to pay. Again, the reason they pay the premium is because this company is constantly buying more Bitcoin, which means that your stake in Bitcoin is increasing every time they buy it. But
Right.
is it worth that premium above the Bitcoin values? And that is where the question is. And obviously, that's a question that is now starting to go Chanos' way, which means people are not as willing to pay such a premium over the Bitcoin values. Another stock that's doing the same thing, and by the way, there's a lot of companies doing this. So they call it treasury financing, where the companies take their cash and they're doing Bitcoin buying with their cash. And so there's a lot more competition in this area. But like I say, and this is a flipping of their, again, this Sailor guy who runs it. He said they weren't going to. When you issue stock, you dilute the value, and
Right.
so if they start issuing a lot of stock, people, I guess, are concerned if they own the common stock that it'll be dilution.
Right.
And so, this thing is really built on, well, I mean, if Bitcoin were to go to 250,000, I'm sure all bets are off as far as the premium coming down. It won't matter. The
Right.
stock probably will still go way up. But if it doesn't, and it goes on this kind of trajectory we are now, which is a little bit of a bump here, bump there, you know what I mean?
Right. Then I
Uh,
think it could go.
yeah,
Somebody just mentioned in the chat that MSTR is selling their stock and
that's
buying.
what I said. That's what I said. They're selling their stock and buying the coins with it.
Yeah, that's what someone just said in the chat.
Well, I mean, that's not bullish for the underlying stock, I don't think.
No,
I
and
mean, it could be,
but
like I
it's
say,
kind of
it's a
showing.
wild card. I mean, like I say, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin, I'm sure everything I say right now is moot because
They
everything will
won't
go up.
even remember we said it.
Exactly, exactly.
I
But it
think
is
that
showing you a risk that people aren't really calculating, except guys like Jim Chanos, who are very good with calculating things like this.
right. I think it's very quick here, and then I'm going to take mine down so Sonny can put hers up.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, just on an Elliott basis, this is like, we got this big decline, and then we got a one and a two, and this is one of whatever this is, and that's two, and here's a third, and we're just coming down in a fourth. So, I mean, minimally, I think you're looking at 250 to 225 minimally to just kind of complete this. But this is a monthly chart, so it's not going to come down tomorrow. It's going to take
No.
time.
Unless
So,
it accelerates to the downside because of what? Because somebody is getting very nervous about holding it. Like I say, I think it's at a very critical point. Let me say right now, if this thing holds this 350, 360 level and you start seeing 400 or 450, you can wave Jim Chanos goodbye because this thing's going through the roof.
I think
But
it's going down to what
all
is
right,
it,
Sonny, go ahead
360?
and put your chart up, Sonny. I took mine down.
Okay, thank you. I think it's going down to this attractor right here at 360, 353.
yeah, that's where I'm
353.
saying that's
And
where
if it
that's
breaks,
where the rock solid support is right there.
yeah, and if it breaks that, we're going down to
200,
297.
297 at least,
Yeah,
right?
that
Yeah.
makes sense to me because that's kind of, if it's going to drop, it then equals that previous,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like a fourth wave.
Yep.
Then and then we rally again.
Hey, listen, the fact that it has not been able to get through her purple and gold line in the sand, I
That's
think
negative.
is a negative thing.
Definitely
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah, and so
So the
but
purple and gold lines, just a second, the purple
mhm.
and gold lines, but
Uh-huh.
some people don't understand what it is. It's my DMA,
Yeah.
which is dynamic moving average. So it's a moving average that recalculates its own links with every tick of the market. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I think this is obviously a very popular stock, and I think it's a very widely held stock. And I think I've been looking at it lately because I really liked it at 300 and 250. I thought it was a great time to participate in it, and then it went up to over 400, near 450, which I thought was great. And now it's pulling back, and I think it's a little odd that it's pulling back because Bitcoin itself hasn't pulled back that much, but Bitcoin has pulled back. It went to like 125 area, and where's it at today? Bitcoin.
Um,
Can you get that up? BITCON.
Who do you want, me?
BTC. How about BTC? Yeah. How does BTC look?
Bitcoin was at 116,000.
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
pulled back off 120.
117.
Yeah, it's pulled back. So it's not unheard of that this would pull back.
No,
But
not at all.
yeah,
No, I think that's gonna. It's sitting right on top of the flat DMA. That tells me it's going to bounce.
yeah, yeah.
So we're going back up to 123, 250.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, if you can hold 110, 115 here, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
But again, there'll be a day where, because this stuff is not money market. I mean, this thing goes around. It's a volatile deal.
Yeah,
So,
it is. It
the
is.
fact that, I mean, if it were to break this 115, 110 neighborhood, I mean, can't you see it? Well, I mean, 100 is not off the table, is it?
Nope.
Now, if
What
it breaks
would
100,
it?
then you've got to bring in the band-aids because if it broke under 100 grand, I would think that would change the dynamic of the trend.
Yeah, I don't think it's going there.
No, I don't think so either. But it's nice to know that
At the lowest.
if it rains, I have an umbrella. You know.
Oh,
That
that's funny.
is funny.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I just think that you would agree that this is kind of a very crucial area for this kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the news here, the news crossed over Bloomberg about how they've changed their policy. That's always a red flag to me. And
They who?
yeah,
They who?
MicroStrategy, the company.
Okay.
Yeah, the company said that they are now willing to issue equity below the level threshold that they previously stated. So
Mm,
that statement alone, I've been around the block long enough to know that's not particularly bullish.
Right.
okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
Mm.
and like I say, it's a pretty popular stock. Is there any stocks that you're looking at now, Sonny, that haven't already gone through the roof, or maybe will continue to
Well,
go through the
I'm
roof? Yeah.
I'm always watching Palantir.
Oh, okay.
So it's come down. We got a
Talk about a
sunny,
premium, huh?
yeah, we got a sunny band sell signal right there.
Yeah.
It's dropped to the DMA,
Uh-huh.
dynamic moving average, and it looks like, well, it could bounce and go back up because it just hit the flat DMA, or it could drop on down to the lower outer band at 157.
Hmm.
Now, do you ever use 30-minute graphs on it? Because a 30-minute graph probably got you on the sell side of this thing up around 186, 185, didn't it?
Yeah, the sell signal's back here.
Yeah. So the people who do it short term, they're already on vacation from this thing.
I don't short stocks. I get out of them, but I don't short
Yeah.
them. But yeah, that's the definite sell signal.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty steady too, huh?
Hmm.
But now, like you say, it's coming into the zone where you might get some support. But there's a gap there between 160 ballpark and 170. Do you have that on your chart?
160. I don't, it doesn't go that low. Let's see.
Oh, well, this is on a 1 year graph, so maybe switch over the time frame. Be easier for
Oh,
you to
well,
see.
yeah, better than 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah. 30 minutes. I was just trying to show you that the short-term guys have already left the building.
Yeah. But we do have on this is what is this, weekly? Yeah. We have a sell signal.
Because the red came out. Yeah,
We got a red and a subsequent red, so we're in a sunny band sell signal.
yeah. So
Hmm.
anyway, if you went down and filled it, you'd be somewhere in the 155, 160 range on an overshoot, and
Yeah.
that could be a reasonable place to re-enter.
Yeah, 156 is what I've got.
But again, this thing is valued, beyond perfection into infinity, but you can't fight the tape. But, if it
Well,
ever,
they have to get my information in their database yet.
yeah,
They,
exactly. There's
you
still
know,
sunnies. They got to get your sunny bands in there.
that's right.
Yeah, because like I say, it did have a huge pullback in April when everything was collapsing. But since then, it has held my 36 line as a worst case scenario. So on a worst case scenario right now, mine comes in at around 157. So that would mean fill the gap, overshoot a little bit, and hold that 157 area.
Where's the gap? I bet.
I have the gap, and I don't know if my chart is correct now, but I got a gap that has a high point on the date of August 4th, and the high point's 161 and change. And then it's got a low point on the next day of
Is this on a daily chart, monthly chart? Oh, right here.
well, I'm on
You're
a
talking
daily
about right
chart.
here.
Yeah.
You're right here.
There you go. So the low on that was 169. So the actual numbers would be 161, 169 is the gap.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So it's almost there. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost to filling.
Mm-hmm.
But as the Japanese say, the window must be closed.
Yeah, that's what they say. So
So
any other
that's
any
160.
other stocks you're looking at, son, that we could throw up there?
Oh, yeah, I always look at Nvidia too,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
which does not really have a sell signal yet. Could bounce on the DMA, dynamic moving average, and move on up.
Yeah. They can't bring that thing down hardly at all. They have a couple of peaks through a
Right?
short-term average, but
Right.
that thing has been since the VIX rolled over in May, and the market's been going up. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is obviously loading up on this stock.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with earnings coming out at the end of next week,
Which,
unless there's a
what
big
day?
surprise, it's on the 27th, so that would be
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Thanks for the alert.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I would say that the revenue should be fine, but you never know. But I think if the margins have tightened at all, that'll be the freak out button because again, these people are up at these prices because they make a lot of money on what they do.
They do.
Right. Right.
And I don't know, how that China deal is really going to work because China's even saying, "Hey, those those third class chips you want us to buy, we already have better ones from Huawei, so you can keep them."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not surprising.
And it's
Anyway,
probably true.
what about what do you call it? AVGO? Is there?
What's that?
That's Broadcom.
AVGO.
AVGO.
Oh, Avgo,
Yeah,
Broadcom.
yeah. Pretty much the same story.
Yep. We've got a sell signal. Red bar comes inside the upper outer band. Another red bar comes in lower than the body of the first candle. So we are on a sell signal.
Now
Probably
there's,
will drop just to the DMA and not beyond. It'll probably continue going up from there, but we're at least going to go to 295 something.
now I got one from San Diego for you.
Oh, good.
Qualcomm, QCOM.
I know that one well.
Looks like it wants to explode to the upside, but who knows? You tell me.
Oh, I don't think so yet. I think it's going to churn some more.
Okay, more
It's
churning back and forth.
Turning back and forth all along here for months.
What do you think? 145 and 160. It's going to be rain. It can't.
Yeah.
I got some on my. Do you have the weekly graph? Because my weekly looks a little bit better than my daily.
Hmm.
And it's still stuck
Yeah,
under, but if it got above the purple there,
Yeah, it's stuck below the purple, but it's
Yeah.
below the DMA, and as long as it's stuck there, it'll continue to churn in that level.
How far above it is it though? Where's purple at? 158 and change, right? It's trading 158.87.
That's right.
Mm.
So
Right
160,
there.
any prints into the 160s, you'd be optimistic about maybe,
I
huh?
would be. I would
Yeah,
be.
that's what I'm trying to say. It looks like it wants to do that. Whether it will or not is the big
Yeah.
question.
I
But you
don't
can
think
see,
it's
it used to be a heck of a lot higher in years past. I mean,
yeah.
in April of last year, it was trading almost 230, I guess.
Yeah. There's too much traffic down there where Qualcomm is. It's a really busy, congested place.
Is that where the 805 and the 5
Yeah.
meet? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been on that before. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
I love Qualcomm.
I'll give you one last one, then we'll let Michael take over. How about XYZ block? Does that look like it's got any kind of a future?
Oh,
Block is in taxes accounting.
XYZ.
no,
XYZ. Yeah. Oh, this is a block. It's it used to be Twitter.
Square.
Yeah.
This is XYZ. Is that what you want?
Yep.
Okay. So we've got some upside motion possible. We got to fill this little gap right here, which it almost has.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go up to around here, which is 91 and a half. I think we've got some upside on this one.
That's what I was thinking. So,
Hmm.
All right, Michael, why don't you take the screen over and give us some ideas on maybe how do you want to talk about the price of gold?
Sure.
I love gold.
Yeah,
I do love gold.
I love gold.
well, you
And
must.
I've got to tell you, I have to tell you, as long, there was that little bit of noise that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it? We had that. Can you see my chart?
Yeah.
Okay. We had that noise that the government was going to start. If you were pulling gold out of Switzerland, they were going to stick a 35% tariff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Well, that got shot down, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Gold, I'm still like this. This is a, what is this?
I'm
Well,
still
we're not seeing your whole chart like we were before. So can you go
I'll
back to
show
the?
you. I can show you that.
I'm looking for 5,000 on gold. I tell you,
Oh.
I think we're.
Oh yeah, I think eventually, eventually you're going to get up there.
Yep.
See, I got my fibs out there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
No,
I
we're
got
not
economic
seeing that.
calendar and market overview, spot gamma. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, I'm on the wrong chart. Hold on.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, that was the
I was
wrong.
going to be polite and not mention anything, but I think
That's
you'd like
okay
it corrected,
because
right?
if I
Yeah.
ever go to this one, the other one, that's my trading chart
There you
There
go.
we go.
behind
Good
it.
job.
There's your Oro.
Okay,
Good job.
so this is my largest picture, goes back to 1970, and you can see that in a very large time frame, we're rolling up in a very large third wave, and it's subdividing once, twice, three times, four times, five times. That fifth rollout, or where it actually is subdividing, is getting ready to finish. So I got to bring this way down and put it here. I've got this now, but it's been in this consolidation period, and there's a very strong possibility that it put in a very small fifth wave. Again, speaking of fifth waves, you normally are looking for them to go through the roof, but on this level, maybe it did not because it spiked on that tariff rumor slash news. When it was taken away, it came back down. So, interesting that they would do that. You know, if you're going to tariff gold, why would the price of gold go up? But it did. Either they realized it was silly and it came back down, but I'm not sure. So, because if you're going to sell your gold and you're going to get tariffed, you just decided not to sell it.
Right.
Um, in any case, I think that we got more upside potential than most things because here we got one, two, three, four. If that's the five, and I didn't put it in, yeah, I did put it in there. We have, once we get that done, if I put this five up here, then the potential for a little bit stronger pullback exists.
I think
Now,
we're coming down to 3333,
okay, which is not unrealistic.
which is where
Uh,
the DMA is.
okay, what's your time frame?
I don't do time frames.
But what?
Sorry.
She lives in the moment.
Weekly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So, a couple weeks.
okay, that would be. I'm going to put it on my daily. On my daily, I see that I have 3350, and then I have 3300 that I
Hmm.
would want it to hold if its intent is to rally again, because it's just been kind of bebopping around in a correction. Now it kind of finished that triangle for the four, and then it blasted up and out, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. Got caught, and now it's just kind of sitting and doing nothing. And I'm not really sure what they're waiting for now, but it might still have a little bit more consolidation. But I do feel very strongly that once it's done, the next move should bring us up to 3665,
Yep. I've got
3875,
3669.
yeah, 4,000, and
Yep.
then you've got this super cluster up here.
Yep.
So, but you know, I think there's enough geopolitical things going on right now that getting gold to 4,000 should not be a problem. So I
Hmm.
think they're just loading. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
just
think you're
think this
right.
is like coming down on a spring, and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And when it's released, it's going to go bam.
So it's like a spiral.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think it just kind of blasts out, and that would let me to keep this here, and this would be a
Yeah.
two, and it would spring up in a third, still of this fifth.
And I think it'll be a surprise.
Yes. So therefore, I'm basing it on the geopolitical versus other things that we kind of know.
How
Yeah.
about that? The fact that they would be easing money and credit into a high inflation and strong economy. Don't you think, like in 19, how did gold do in 1998 to 2000? Did it do anything good during that dot-com bubbly time?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I'll tell you right now, if they start dropping interest rates with 4% unemployment and the PPI going at a 10% annualized and wages rising,
It
you're
looks
going to get.
like
I think you're going to go through the roof. That's when you're going to get your
no,
7,500 on the S&P. But boy, will the aftermath be not very nice.
no, it looks like Michael's chart's pretty dull right along in there.
Well, yes, it came up off of its historic in our lifetime,
But that went into
Well, no,
the,
it bottomed when the bubble happened. The bubble happened in 2000. That was the bottom of gold, and it never looked back.
yeah.
So if we have a bubble in 26 or something like that, if we go up to like some really high number in 26, 27 could be the year where gold might really get something going too.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, yes. But yeah, I just think it's like we still have like here, I can go here. We still have the third, then a four and a five, and then finishes this third, and a four and a five that finishes this third, a four and a five finishes that third, a four and a five to finish that third.
Yeah.
We have, well, 10 years or more.
Yeah.
So,
You just think about how much credit is out there now in
oh my
government,
God.
corporations, and private. Now, if you lowered interest rates to 3%, what do you think that's going to do the amount of credit out there? It's going to make that credit explode. So the amount of credit for governments and corporations and everybody else, it's going to be beyond compare.
I have a question for the group. Trump
Yes, ma'am.
keeps saying that he's going to release $1.5 trillion worth of something that he's got held in reserve. Is that going to be our gold supply?
That
I
would
mean,
be the
that's
most,
that, yeah,
yeah,
that
that would be the most dangerous thing and that he'd ever done in his life.
Right.
almost as dangerous as the Genius Act.
I
Well,
know.
yeah,
Right.
because I've not heard that, but um, that would be absolutely disastrous. Number
But
one for the credit
but he
of,
keeps
of the
saying he's got
country.
$1.5 trillion worth of a secret fund that he's going to release so that every American can be a millionaire. What is it?
Well, I don't know.
A lie.
I haven't heard that one. I guess I have to go back to Truth Social and do a little
Well, you
reviewing.
have to get all the spam email to get that.
Not to be ugly or bold, but you said, what is it? A lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Now,
course.
Michael, I got a question for you on gold because yes, it looks good, and but it's on both sides of 3,400 lately. It tried to go up to 3,450, didn't like it. Tried to go down to 3,350, didn't 3,290 and didn't like it. So
Right,
it has
right,
been kind of in a window trying to figure out what's next. And
right,
on my longer term graphs, I've got reversion to the mean that could go to 3,000 or
Right.
lower. And so I'm just asking out loud, at what price would you put any credence into the concept of going back towards 3,000 on a reversion to the mean? Like would you if we broke 3275, which is my number.
I would
Uh
agree with you. Mine is actually 32.99, but
yeah.
I could say I could see that you would want to take it down to this one, which is actually 32.50.
Yeah, 3250 is even a better number because you want to
And
be sure, you want to be kind of sure that it's kind of got the mojo that you're not just getting, jerked around like everybody who's ever sold gold in the last how
well,
many years, you know what I mean?
right, but my point is it's like if we're correcting what I pointed out before, and I got to go back out to this chart. If this is a third wave, if we're correcting that, the normal fibs are 0.382, and that because it's so big, it takes us back to 2878. Now, do I think that gold's going to go down there under the current atmosphere of what we got? No, I do not.
No, it doesn't look like it has the interest in going lower. But of course,
Well, I think because
if we broke 3250 and there was some type of a situation that got people thinking the other way, you know, in
well, I
other words,
think that
if he wasn't
that
going to, if he wasn't going to lower any rates at all, because he can just see the price, the work doesn't merit that, that would be a shock because 100% is discounted that we're getting a quarter. So if he didn't give a quarter on September 18th, that might be something that would cause gold to go, hey, these guys aren't going to be crazy with the money,
right, right.
you know?
Um, Possible.
Low probability. But if it did happen, that would be, shall we say, a
Well,
disruptive
the
announcement.
thing is, it's like this is what always kind of gets me. I understand that the market is absolutely saying, no, Mr. Powell, you are cutting because you see how we've priced it in and we rule.
Right, right.
And I think to me, it's like, yeah, I get that, and we all stand by it. But I mean, I'm not going to be phased either way. If they don't, I'm like, well, they did talk about inflation, and we did get this PPI, and he's telling you right where it's coming from. It's
And
not like this
yields
is
are rising. The 10-year note went down towards around 419 and now it's at 434.
Oh
So
yeah.
if the 10-year yield starts breaking above 450 before they meet, I would think that
It's cooked.
somebody's now betting that the quarter's off the table.
And I would agree with you. And I think what I saw one that continually comes out close to 5%.
Yeah.
Is it the 3 or the 5 year is still coming out way up there?
Yeah.
And even though I saw even down to T-bills, where I saw the 4 week, the 6 week, the 13, 17, all kind of ticking up.
Hmm.
Then they ticked down, and now the 4 and the 6 are ticking back up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a
So
chart on the
I
10
would,
year. I have a chart on the 10-year note. The 10-year note has a beautiful line on the 20-year that has not been violated. It was tested in September of last year when he did that 50-point cut, and it was tested in April when Trump collapsed the markets. But ever since then, that blue line has not been violated. And right now, like I say, the blue
There
line
it is.
comes in at 412,
Oh,
and the lowest we've been
you're
is
using, okay.
418.
I know which one you're using. Hold on a
Yeah.
second.
And so the bottom line is I'm going to get bullish on bonds when I see that blue line violated. And until then, I'm going to say the numbers don't warrant any big rate cuts.
nope, they sure don't.
Well, I have to tell you, see, even if I do this, I got an A, got a B, and I got a C, and this is like crazy nonsense in here. Um, it could, but I'll tell you what, A and A, B, C. Well, yeah, but if I'm going to tell you, Jim, if they're going to do it, I think it'll spike. It's just a spike, right? It'll get up above there.
I think something's going to happen with the Fed. I don't think they're going to reduce interest rates at this point, but they might raise them, which will be
Wow,
a
that would be the
shock to the
surprise.
market.
That would be a much bigger surprise, and I think it could drive our president into a
Crazy.
hospital.
Well, I mean, or he may call off the tariffs, which is obviously a big part of why these prices rose.
I tell
So
you the
and
truth,
believe me,
that is.
if he's told like he was told when they met China, they went from 80% tariffs down to 10% when Besant came out of the meeting. You know, if he's told that the markets are going to be very very bad unless you back off these things, he'd back off them by lunchtime.
Yeah, taco trade.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Wow. Because the
but I
latest thing,
think
even
that's
though
possible.
nobody's taking it seriously, but he still said, he's considering putting a 300% tariff on semiconductors.
Yeah, but see, I think yeah, that's the same thing about pharma. I think pharma was a fabulous bargain because I don't think he's going to disrupt the healthcare system anywhere near like he's talking. And you had an opportunity to pick up Novo Nordisk at like $45. It's already at 54
Right.
bucks.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and again, that used to be $150. So he's not going to destroy the healthcare system as if everyone has discounted. And then once it comes out that he's not going to destroy the pharma industry, these stocks have got very, very good values down here.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
if I were the
because people
Fed,
get sick and the people get sick and they're going to want that medicine. And these companies are not going to give the medicine away for free because they do have shareholders. And so they'd rather not sell it than sell it at a loss.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
if
better
I
look
were
at the
the
clock
Fed,
there
I
too.
would raise interest rates quarter of a
Yes.
point.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start a campaign, Sonny, for president.
You can't do that.
All
I'm
right,
running.
listen, we're at the top of the hour, you guys. Before we settle all of the world's ails, why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, Sonny?
All right, moneymentor.com. I'm at sunny@moneymentor.com. My phone number is my personal cell is 760-908-3070. Please give me a call. I appreciate hearing from people. Right now, I'm running a free trial of my software with a free trial of 1 full week of live trading room, TAWS, to trade along with Sunny.
Sounds good. Make sure you guys take care of that. And Michael, how do people get a hold of you? And do you have any special offer?
I have something coming up. Michael at MJF1 Partners, so it's MJF, the number one partners.com. Please send me an email. What I've got coming up is I am reopening. I'm right now I have YouTube memberships. Those memberships I'm going to discontinue them at the end of the month. So everything again will be out published to the public, which it was in the past. And I'm going back to opening up the logical signals trade room again, and and that'll be coming up also in the beginning of September. And so I'm going to be offering some nice things on that. If you have an interest, please send me an email and state so, and I'll let you know what's going on. Right now, I just have a live stream, and yeah, we
Sorry.
have fun. It's a crazy market. We
Yeah,
trade. It's actually going to be a trade room for day traders, basically.
Cool.
yeah, and plenty
So,
of them out there.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they all want to be successful.
Well, thank you, Sonny, and thank you, Michael, for being here. We're going to do it again, of course, because we do it often. And so I'll see you next time. For everyone who's in the room, I am going to be doing a meeting, an options meeting right now. So do hang with us. David's going to take over the microphone here, but then stay with us because I'll be starting a webinar meeting with you shortly.
Thank you, Jim.
You bet. Thanks, Michael.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you, David.
All
Yes.
right, yeah, great discussion. Uh, so just a quick reminder for everyone, be sure to subscribe to Timing Research on YouTube or Substack or your favorite podcast app, or you can also just go to TimingResearch.com and get access to any of the past shows and events. And I just want to thank my guests again for today, Michael Filighera of LogicalSignals.com, Sonny Harris of MoneyMentor.com, and the Option Professor of OptionProfessor.com. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
David.